In feudal Japan, being born into a family of samurai sounds like a privilege. A girl learns to wield a katana, wears battle armor and knows from childhood that honor is the most important thing. She is called Anabi-geisha, a woman warrior. She feels respected, she is the pride of the clan. She is feared. She is valued. But only until war happens. Then she's not expected to fight, but to die beautifully. An honorable suicide if her husband, brother, or father is killed. No one asks if she wants it. And if she survives, the family's honor is ruined. Can a girl who has been told from childhood to be strong refuse the fate of a victim and break the cycle? Or in a world where even a woman's courage is devalued, will she never have a chance? You are born into a house of warriors. The floorboards of your family's estate remember the weight of armor, the blood washed from blades. For generations, your ancestors served the daimyo with unquestioning loyalty, dying when ordered, living only with purpose. You are not born into peace, you are born into expectation. You are 5 when the bow is first placed in your hands. Too long for your arms, too heavy for your back, but you learn to ride and shoot at straw men with painted faces. At 6, your palms bleed from sword drills. It is not a game. You are told, not with anger but with pride, this is preparation. In siege, you defend the home. In defeat, you die clean. Your mother watches you from the engua, her hair silvered before its time. She says you are a blade kept in a box, not for parades, not for display, but for the moment steel is the only answer. You are not told stories about princesses. You are told about burning villages and last stands on temple steps. At 7, you receive your first wakizashi, not a toy, a real blade, short and sharp. At 10, you wear armor that creaks on your small frame. You learn how to fold the sleeves quickly, how to move in the weight, how to kneel and still be deadly. The boys look at you differently now. Some laugh. Some don't. The neighbors whisper. A girl who trains with the sword. A daughter who spars with men. Some call your father foolish. Others jealous. But you see it in their eyes, the strange admiration, the uneasy respect. Not every girl is carved for war. You are. At the festival of chrysanthemums, you duel a boy 2 years older in front of the shrine. The crowd gathers, thinking you will cry or yield. Instead, you break his stance and press the wooden sword to his neck. The elders nod slowly. A few smile. Later, they bow slightly when passing you. For the first time, you understand, fear and respect are 2 sides of the same coin. You read about Tomo Guzan by lamplight. A woman who rode into battle, who beheaded enemies on horseback. You believe you could become her, not a legend, but a warrior with her own name. Not someone's wife. Not someone's shadow. But there are rules. Spoken gently, wrapped in honor. You may not fight if your husband still breathes. You may defend, but not lead. You are not a warrior, not really. You are a possibility locked in ritual. You are allowed to train. You are allowed to die. You are not allowed to win. You are 15 when your fate is sealed with ink and tea. The man they bring is twice your age, with fingers stained by calligraphy and war. He laughs when he sees your blade hanging on the wall. He says it's charming. He says it won't be needed anymore. You bow. You smile. You hide the blade under your sleeping mat. The castle courtyard becomes your new dojo. You gather the wives, the daughters, the silent widows. You teach them how to grip a blade, how to aim low when the enemy is larger, how to fall without breaking. They listen. They whisper your name when you leave. But you feel it too, this is not battle. This is containment. You are being softened by silks and ceremonies. Your husband rides out with the daimyo's banner. He does not ask if you want to come. You remain behind, as expected. You inspect the gates. You count the food supplies. You memorize the hidden tunnels. You hold the house while the men play their games with blood. You are told that if the enemy comes, you must hold the inner keep. If they break through, you must die before capture. You are shown where the short dagger is hidden behind the family shrine. You are told that your body must not be touched by enemy hands. Not your skin. Not your honor. Not your breath. This is the law of your kind. A woman samurai may defend, but she must never emerge victorious. If she survives alone, she has shamed the dead. If she wins, she has stolen a man's death. The only acceptable victory is death itself. They wrap this rule in words like beauty, purity, loyalty. But you feel the iron behind the silk. You watch your friend, the one who trained beside you since childhood, kneel in the garden, bloodless and dry-eyed, as news of her husband's death arrives. She does not scream. She does not delay. She performs the ritual of jigai without hesitation. The room smells of camellias and iron. Her silence haunts you for weeks. You still train in the mornings, before the servants rise. The blade still fits your hand. The armor still holds your shape. But there is nowhere to go. No front to march toward. Only walls and whispers. You wonder if all this strength was just a poetic form of waiting. Not for battle, but for the right to die neatly. Still, a part of you hopes. You believe there will be an exception. A moment that breaks the pattern. A war where they call your name, not just your husband's. You believe you are not alone, that somewhere, another woman sharpens her sword not for ritual, but for survival. You wait. You train. You do not yet know how heavy hope can be. The attack comes at dawn, without drums or warning. Your husband is days away with the main force. The castle's garrison is thin, half made of aging retainers and boys barely old enough to hold a spear. You feel it in the soles of your feet. This is no test. This is the moment they told you to die in. The elders freeze. The commander falters. You step forward, not to ask permission, but to issue orders. They protest, say this is not your place, say a woman cannot lead men. You do not argue. You take the high tower, organize the defense. You know the walls better than they do. You know what it means to hold. The women you train stand beside you. Farmers' wives. Daughters of craftsmen. One grits a spear with shaking hands. Another straps armor over her kimono. You do not have time to think of what they were. They are soldiers now. You fight as one. You hold the gate. First day. Arrows darken the sky. Second day. The gate creaks, then breaks. Third day. You kill a man who tries to climb the inner wall. You kill another who thinks you're weak. You kill a third who underestimates your reach. Your arms are tired. Your vision blurs. You do not stop. Not until the fourth day. They breach the keep at night. Smoke rolls through the corridors. Screams mix with stone breaking. When it ends, the men are gone, dead or fled. You gather what's left, a handful of women, half their faces scorched, children wrapped in bloodied cloth. You are alive. You are breathing. You are not victorious. The senior elder, wounded and quiet, tells you it's time. You have done well, he says. You have defended your house. Now you must do what is expected. He opens the lacquered box himself. Inside, the blade gleams, short and thin, meant for women. You bow. You take it. You walk through the wreckage, burnt wood, shattered helmets, dried blood in patterns across the stone. You pass the storage room where the children sleep beneath straw. You look to the sky, red with morning. This is not how a warrior should end. This is how they erase you. You kneel. You draw the blade. Your hands shake, but not with fear. You press it to your belly, just enough to draw blood. Then you move it aside. Just enough for those watching to believe. You fall sideways with control. You do not scream. You close your eyes and breathe like the dead. And in the silence that follows, you decide, you will live. The peasants find you at the forest's edge, soaked in ash and blood, your body limp with fever. You do not tell them your name. They feed you rice and hide you in the toolshed. You watch the smoke from the castle trail across the hills, but you do not cry. You shave your head with a kitchen knife. You wrap yourself in monk's robes. The temple you find takes you in. They see a woman broken by war. They do not ask questions. You chant in the mornings, sweep the stones, cook in silence. At night, you train behind the shrine, where no one sees your movements. You teach the women to defend themselves. You sew poultices into their sleeves. You show them how to move silently, how to vanish. They begin to whisper of you as protector. You are not proud. You are not ashamed. You are becoming something without a name. But rumors travel faster than wind. Someone remembers the girl who didn't die. Someone says you ran from duty. That you let the castle fall. That you let yourself live. The word disgraced returns to you like a shadow with teeth. They find your husband's head weeks later, burned beyond recognition. He is declared dead. A funeral without a body. The clan removes your name from the scrolls. The family crest is scraped from your blade. To them, you do not exist. An old retainer, one who once served your father, hears your name in a market. He brings hunters. Ronin with narrow eyes and no mercy. They offer you the final choice, finish what you started or be dragged through the mud as a warning. You run. Through mud, through reeds, through rice paddies and shrines. You leave the temple, the name, the robes. You sleep in trees. You drink from streams. You burn your old armor. You become smoke. In the mountains, you meet bandits. They try to take what you have. They learn quickly. You fight like a ghost, silent, precise, full of fire that should have burned out long ago. They begin to fear you. They call you death in silk. You do not deny it. You become what they see. You become the myth that should have died in the keep. You live without a name. You hunt rabbits in the snow and sleep beneath branches that creak in the wind. When food is scarce, you trade protection for bread. Sometimes it means breaking a man's wrist in front of his sons. Sometimes it means carrying water for an old widow who lost her voice. You survive in the cracks between laws and roads. You learn that strength is not shown in duels, it is hidden in hunger, in cold, in silence. Men try to tame you. Some with silver, some with threats, some with smiles. They see a woman alone and think it means weakness. They die quickly. You do not kill in anger. You kill because they won't stop. Because they think a woman can be owned. You leave their bodies in ditches. You do not look back. One day, a messenger finds you. He bows, too deeply, and hands you a sealed scroll. A powerful daimyo offers you a place, not as a wife, not as a servant. As a shadow. He wants someone who cannot be named. Someone who doesn't exist. You accept. You arrive wrapped in fog and silence. In his castle, you wear armor again. But now you are the one who teaches. You train the daughters of lords and generals. You show them where to hide a knife. You teach them how to drop a man twice their size. You watch them grow fierce. You see your own reflection in their sweat. The children laugh when they see you. They call you the gentle demon. They pull at your sleeves and ask if ghosts feel cold. You let them think what they want. You sharpen their sense of danger. You remind them that silence is not the same as surrender. But the past has teeth. One night, a falcon brings a letter. Your old clan knows you're alive. They do not forgive. They send a killer, a man who once served beside your father. He is fast, cold, ceremonial. He wears your family crest. He calls you a traitor before drawing his blade. You face him in the rain. The castle quiets. Servants hide. Your students watch from behind screens. You fight without hatred. He wants your life to restore his honor. You want nothing. In the downpour, steel sins against steel. When it ends, he is on his knees, bleeding into the dirt. You look him in the eye. You say your name out loud for the first time in years. They begin to speak of you differently. Not as a coward. Not as a ghost. You are the woman who lived through fire and storm, and did not bow. The girls you taught start telling your story. The boys stop laughing when they see you pass. You are no longer invisible. You are the woman who was meant to die, but chose not to. You age. Your joints stiffen. The blade no longer feels like an extension of your hand. You retreat to a small temple near the river, where the stones are warm in summer. You grow herbs. You boil rice. You sleep without nightmares. The world forgets your face. But you do not forget how to teach. Girls come to you, some broken, some angry, some just curious. You do not tell them your past. You show them how to breathe through fear. You show them how to stay standing. You teach them that surrender is a choice, not a rule. Your name disappears from records. The stories twist. Some say you died in the fire. Others say you were a fox spirit in human form. You do not correct them. You let legend take your place. You never wanted fame. Only freedom. Time moves. The code of death begins to crumble. New obligations rise with steel in their hands and no expectation to fall on it. They train not to die well, but to live powerfully. You watch from the shadows of your garden, and you know it was worth it. When the law finally changes, no more death by obligation, someone brings a white crane flag to your grave. They do not know your face. But they know what you meant. They plant it in the soil beside your name, carved deep into stone. They ask old soldiers who you were. None answer. Some say you were nobody. Some say you were everyone. But each time a girl draws a blade and refuses to kneel, a part of you rises with her. You changed nothing and everything. You vanished, and still, you remain. Because now, honor no longer demands your death. It remembers your refusal to die. And that memory, sharp as your blade once was, lives in every woman who chooses to fight on her feet, not on her knees. According to Sengoku period archives, about 15% of women from samurai families owned weapons. However, less than 1% participated in battles. In 90% of cases, they were expected to commit harakiri or jigai in the event of the fall of a castle or the death of a husband. Only a few broke this code of honor and survived. Their stories are rare, unrecorded in the annals. If you are a girl who was once told that your place is in the shadows, remember, even in the most rigid traditions, there are always those who choose to live. Not for shame, but so that one day someone else may not die, but win.